Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Now. I'm Laura.
And I'm Celeste.
And we have a fantastic episode for you guys tonight. Who do we have on, Celeste?
We have Tracey Jewel. Tracey Jewel was on Married at First Sight, which
I love that show.
Laura's
absolutely loved it.
favorite show. And
Team Tracey.
Team Tracey. We're Team Tracey here. Tracey has had quite a tumultuous year of some public humiliation, so we're chatting a little bit about that. But mainly and more importantly, we're talking about how she is bouncing back, and she is here, and she is better than ever.
That's right.
Who else do we have?
We have another Tracey on, so two Traceys. Lots of Traceys here in Australia. Yeah. So Tracey White is joining us, telling her amazing, courageous story about her health journey. So you got to listen out for this one. It's a very important message.
Absolutely.
Who else?
And we have the holistic health nut, Aurora Gilbert. She's going to be doing something I think pretty challenging, putting delicious and healthy together. You don't always get delicious, and it's hard to get healthy.
As long as we get to eat it.
Yep, and we get to eat it. We really love chocolate, don't we?
We like chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate?
Yep. And
our very own personality, Pieta, is joining us to tell us all the latest, greatest events happening here in Perth.
That's right.
So sit back, grab a cuppa, and
let's talk now. Tracey Jewel here from Married at First Sight, and we're chatting a little bit about her tumultuous year that she's had, but really more importantly focusing on how she's bouncing back and she's better than ever. She's published 2 books and she's about to publish her 3rd.
Yeah, so welcome Tracey.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you've had quite a year, Tracey.
It has been. Yes.
There's a lot we could go through and talk about. I mean, quite a bit of things, but more importantly, how are you doing?
You know what? It's amazing how once you have a bit of a breakdown or a setback in life, the breakthrough is so much better.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
It's coming back to simplicity and mindfulness for me.
Absolutely.
And what I love to do. And it's funny how sometimes you get caught up in this media world that takes you away from what your values are. And that's, I think, what happened.
Yeah. And Tracey, what happened overseas? Where was that your rock bottom?
It's funny how rock bottom just kind of hits you like a Mack truck, right? Like you kind of ignore the warning signs.
Yeah.
Like I was okay with, you know, the scrutiny of what I did on the show or what I didn't do, you know, staying with Dean and all that stuff.
Which we're going to talk about later.
Laura wants to know all about that. Yes.
Yeah, and then, you know, everything jumped from like the social media, cyberbullying and media, from what happened on the show to what happened in my private life. And no one can prepare you for that.
Right.
And I think that's when things started to unravel for me, because suddenly just because I've been on TV meant everything was open game.
Right.
And I just couldn't cope with that because I've been a private person before the show. And I'm, you know, happy to share in my writing and parts of my life, but it's like everything was open slather.
Right.
And from there, I just felt very unsafe, very uncertain, and very scared.
And Tracey, some people may, you know, when we were talking about having you on, a lot of people, you know, said, well, we want to talk about the lips. We want to talk about, you know, the overdose. We want to talk about the Oprah show things. I mean, there was a plethora of stuff in the tabloids. How do you bounce back from the continuous part of that, waking up every single day and facing the tabloids?
Yeah, it's funny, like writing for me is like writing to my aspirational self.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we don't live 100% on what, you know, we want to, because that's just life. Life gets in the way. And it was just going back to the principles and the values that I have, that I got lost in, you know, in the circus.
It's so easy to.
Yeah.
I mean, I only have like 300 followers, and I'm like, what?
It doesn't take much.
Why didn't they like my page? Like, who is not liking my picture? So I can only imagine. And some people also, Tracey, say that maybe some of these things were self-inflicted. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Look, I think signing up to any media, you're not signing up to be harassed and bullied.
Agreed.
No one deserves that, no matter what industry or what you do. And it's almost like trial by social media. You know, we have a legal system. I haven't been criminally charged with anything or anything like that, but it felt like I was. It felt like I was in prison on social media for things that were allegations and weren't even true. And that's when things kind of spiraled for me because, you know, I'm a problem solver, but I was like, even my writing and my values that I can go to, how do I get out of this situation?
Absolutely.
Sure.
And it's spiraling.
Do you regret your time then on Married at First Sight? If you could go back, would you do it again?
Yeah, you know what? There's no regrets. Do you know what I mean? I think looking back in the past and going shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know, what can you do? I like to move forward.
Yeah.
And I think a big lesson I've learned in this is when you start to own things, and because I'm a classic runner away, I'm like, yeah, I'll just, you know, exit, see you later.
Absolutely.
And I think by owning it and being truthful in that and vulnerable, then you're reaching out to other people and they're allowed to be truthful and vulnerable.
And I think
and
that's
you open that
wonderful.
connection.
And you know, Tracey, something Laura and I were talking about in the makeup room was just, I was saying how reading about you and learning more about you, the fact that you were in the public eye when you hit your lows and you were able to bounce back. What an example. And the word you said, I was able to own it.
Yeah.
To me, that's the essence of growth and learning. And there is nobody undeserving of compassion. And, you know, we also met with, you know, as we were getting Let's Talk Now going, we met with a lot of different people. And specifically, some people were like, oh, we want all the trash. You know, we want all the tabloids. Put it all out there. Ask all the questions. And we really thought about it really hard because you have been in the tabloids so much. Your name is somewhat controversial right now, given the year that you've had. And we were like, you know what? No. The fact that you hit your rock bottom and you're able to stand up and hold your head high and say, I am now going to, you know, advocate for cyberbullying. Good on you.
Well, this is the thing, you know, like Instagram is just a portion of our lives and it's just the shiny stuff. You know what I mean?
That's what we want people to see.
Yeah, and we all have a shiny part of our personality. You know, I like to, you know, have a shiny Tracey side that likes my makeup and, you know, look at this and what I'm doing. Like, we all have that, and that's fine. But if you get consumed just by that and you forget the real stuff, that we have down days, that, you know, 50% of Australians suffer depression and anxiety at one point in their lives. Do you know what I mean? But we don't see any of that. Yeah. So I believe we go through things to be able to help others and share our journey, and that creates a voice for the voiceless.
Absolutely.
And it makes sense of things, if, you know, when you go through something and you're able to share.
Yeah.
Now, we don't want to talk the trash talk, but I do
so it's girl talk also. I hear it.
Apparently one of the first people you call when you were going through your breakdown was Dean.
I know, right?
Is that true?
It is actually true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys still have a relationship?
We're still really good friends. And it's so funny, out of all my ex-boyfriends that have, you know, turned on me and, you know, dished the dirt, so to speak, Dean is one of the only guys in my ex-boyfriends that has actually had my back.
About time, Dean.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe a little too late, but good on you for finally standing up.
Well, because he's been a big part of this year, because I haven't been home with my friends and my support network, and that also is a big thing when you don't have that support. Absolutely. And that's when things kind of spiral. And Dean's been such a massive part of this year for me. He was the rational one to call because he'd kind of been through it with me. He got it.
Now, you've started a new campaign for mental health awareness.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I love the fact that in Australia now we have so many great charities that are removing the stigma. And I thought, because now I've been through it, see, the point is I didn't have a reference point before all this happened to me. So I kind of just, you know, yes, it's great, this mental health, but I didn't actually understand it. And now I've been through it, I totally get it. And what an epidemic we have in Australia in terms of workplaces and depression and anxiety. So I saw it as a great opportunity for the month of October to get involved in things like Odd Socks Day and World Mental Health Day to continue to raise awareness and reduce the stigma. Absolutely. It's okay to talk about this kind of stuff. You don't have to suffer in silence.
Well, we look forward to reading your third book.
Yes.
How exciting. When's that out?
So the next one's out next year, and it's going to be an interview compilation of 50 women and their struggles in small business. And again, it's really relatable because we can't all relate to the big CEOs, and not all of us want to be the big CEOs. So yeah, I'm really excited about this book.
Well, we look forward to reading it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thanks for having
Tracey.
me.
And we'll be back after this break. Ladies, thanks for joining us again. With us on the couch right now is Pieta. Pieta, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you run Perth Happenings, which has all the latest and greatest events. Tell us about it.
Okay, so I started Perth Happenings about 2.5 years ago. Basically, the nutshell version is I saw that in Perth, it was all big scale events. There was all the, Childish Gambino coming, which is obviously fabulous, but, there's all those big scale events. And I thought if I was new to Perth or a migrant or something like that, where would I go to have a look? So I started Perth Happenings. We're based on community, so it's 100% community focused. I promote markets, I promote all the smaller guys, all the little events, alongside obviously the big ones. But so if you live, say, northern suburbs, you click on the northern suburbs community page, and all the events, the food trucks, the markets, some blogs, all about the local communities there.
Yeah. So do you go and try all these events out yourself?
As a general rule, I do. I do have a team of bloggers,
What a
though.
tough love.
I know.
I have a great team of bloggers who will go out to the events that I perhaps can't get to, or things like that.
We
So.
should sign me
we
up.
could do an
Pieta will sign me
event.
up. Yeah, I actually came across, when I first moved here, I came across Pieta's Perth Happenings, her Instagram account. And that really, it did help me because it was very localized, it was very community, it was accessible. And something that I really loved was you were at a soccer game for your son.
I celebrate the soccer mum life.
Part of culture.
I have tried very hard to make it. I think one of the things that's missing at the moment online is people that are real.
Yes.
And I think that with Perth Happenings, you will always see on our Instagram or our Facebook or our live stream or our YouTube or wherever, generally a lot of my face, but also my team. We try to actually have a face. So if people say, who owns Perth Happenings? Oh, it's that Pieta chick. Where are you from? Oh, I recognise you. Some of my bloggers do get that. Oh, I've seen you on Instagram. So I'm trying to make it that it is accessible and people can look at me as a normal person and go, oh, okay, well, what's she going to? What's she enjoying? And she isn't, living that high life, which I kind of sort of.
You're living. You're a personality.
I don't think so, but that's okay.
Now, what's coming up in this month of October?
Yeah.
What can we expect to see some events happening?
The big thing at the moment, which I'm loving, is coming into the summer kind of, I think we're actually getting spring now, I think. The spring, summer period. There's a lot more markets. And I love that because it celebrates local. It celebrates the local makers, the producers, that kind of thing. So most communities have a local growers market. If you want to find out, go on your community page. And so there's a lot of those, which I love. And there's just and at them, there's one coming up in Palmyra, which is about kids. And they've got tug of war and egg and spoon races and the things that like my kids would not have done unless it was at school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how cool would that be to go do tug of war with my kids? Clearly, I would like to beat them. But,
Yes.
Also coming up, everyone's getting ready for Melbourne Cup, which is early November. I'm actually running a photo shoot for that, which I just decided to do myself. It's based on sizes outside of the fashion norm. So I have a model who's a size 4, and then from a 14 to a 20. We're basically getting local makeup artists, hairdressers, milliners, the hats, local, fashion designers, and we're showcasing that. I'm doing a fashion shoot just based around,
Sign us up. We're in there. Yeah. But more importantly, how do we get invited to these things? How do we get wined and dined for that?
Spend 2.5 years creating a website.
We don't have time.
We'll
just tag along with you.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
just
I always
partner
say
up
plus
with
ones,
you.
so.
Yes.
Plus
two.
Yeah, maybe you can alternate.
So if anyone out there wants to see when the actual events are on, where can they find out information about Perth Happenings?
Okay, so our website is www.perthhappenings.com.au. That is where you'll find the listings of the events, also the blogs. We have a lot of blogs on, you know, like last night, my team went to the Avery relaunch. They're writing a blog about that, so we'll have information about that up.
Cool.
Or you can go to our Instagram, which has what's happening right now, so on our stories, or our Facebook, or YouTube. Or just send me a message or give me a call.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. That's really cool, Pieta. We love what you're doing within the community.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problems at all.
And we'll be back just after this short break.